Okay, thank you, MC. I'll be moderating this session. Maybe firstly, I will give a general question to get everyone to respond to the answer, and then after that, I will open some questions to the floor to get some engagement from all of you, in the floor. Yeah, so that is more of an interactive. So this afternoon, I think we like to make it more, what I call it, casual lah. Yeah. Okay. My question is, in Malaysia, the adoption of AMR, autonomous mobile robotics, especially in what we are seeing here today, in warehousing and also logistics. A lot of perception, people are very scared of, when we do this, a lot of people will go out of job. There's no work. There's no, number one. And then number two is that some companies, they spend a lot of money, but then the thing fail. So when the thing fail, so the next people who wants to propose robots into their company will have a different problem. Yeah. Because failure give a very bad, mindset. So I think I would like to get a response from our panel. Okay, maybe we start with Dr. Yeong first. These two questions: how to handle this robot replacing human being and negative things, and then number two is that. How to handle, to give confidence to the people, that they have to keep on trying and investing in robots and AI and technology. So maybe Dr. Yeong, your experience?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So, Doc, nanti stop me. If otherwise I keep on talking until stop. I think I'll answer the first question because the second maybe the next panel. I think first question is how to prevent that the robot going to replace a job. But ultimately, we need to create a lot more awareness. Yes, robot may or will replace the job for the short term, but for the long term, if you create exponential job creation. I'll give one example is, let's say 20 years ago, a lot of people, when we talk about taking money from ATM, a lot of people actually object, including my mom. My mom doesn't want to use an ATM card to take the money. Because how can you use an ATM card to take the money? Second, they say that you're going to replace all the clerk job. Macam mana? Then I say, but you wait for 1 hour, 2 hours for that. It's okay because there is a clerk job kan. But moving forward now, you use the ATM card to pick up the money or you use an e-wallet. Moving forward, the job creation increased tremendously. The finance is increased tremendously. Tak ramai dekat sana tapi dia ada job creation. So back into robot also sama. I think just now Puan Siti had mentioned also. When we use a lot of a robot, yes, you replace certain people, they're actually pushing the trolley, doing the certain job. But who are going to build the robot? Who are going to maintain the robot? Who are going to service robot? That is a high level one. Then you have supply chain. Who are going to build the battery? Who are going to build the technology? People and human. So ultimately, I believe that yes, it may or it will create some job loss very short term, but in the long run, if you exponential, create a lot of a job opportunity. So that's my first answer for the first question. Maybe the question shall pass on.
Okay, from the government perspective, I think it's not only about companies will retrench or the employees will be reduced. It's in terms of creation of knowledge workers as well as to increase salary of workers. Because with this replacement of robotics or automation, the company will train the workers to ensure that they will have the skill, good skill, and of course after that the salary will be increased. So high value job creation will be created. Thank you.
Okay. I'm also, first of all, I'm also from the government side juga lah. So has to wear the government hat. I think one of the things also, our dependency on the perspectively is about cheap foreign labor. So government side is not just looking at individual company, but on the economic sectors also. So they have to look into, because there's a lot of, factors which will affect the economy as a whole. For example, when we depend on the foreign labor, then the outflow of our capital towards the workers, towards their market later on. Then how we want to return that? Then that's why the technology will help, the robotic and automation will help. And I mean, MIDA just now also shown six of the KPI, how to apply towards the grant that been presented before. So one of it is about reducing the foreign worker, right? Yeah. So meaning the company also, at the end of the day, if you want to, if you have the foreign labor inside the operation, then perhaps this is one of the KPI that you can tackle, and open up the opportunity to get that fund, to apply that fund. So for local worker, the government also talk about upskilling and reskilling. So that's another way of company also can, we have these loyal workers yang already many years with us, then how the job that we try to automate, perhaps his job is affected. Then send them for training. There's a lot of trainings opportunities, and also training grants, and also facilitation by various agencies. Even in the government since last year is talking about TVET training. So skill up the workers, and also give them more opportunities lah. And you know that they are loyal already. So why the fear? Itulah. Thank you.
All right. Okay. When we talk about the implementation of robots in industries, and it's get back to the supply and demand. So what the industry wants is basically the efficiencies, to reduce the cost. But at the same time, they are afraid to implement the technology, autonomous robot, those kind of things. Yes, I agree with Dr. Yeong. We should get more awareness in terms of how the robots can be implemented and benefit the organizations. And at the same time, we have to do the trainings, upskill and reskilling to those operators who are affected for the implementation of the robots, so that they can become more high-skilled workers, which expectation of they, rather than, they are managing the box. Before that, now they are managing the robots. By that, it means we can, give the awareness in terms of, instead of deploying robotics, we reduce the labor. Now, deploying the robotics, we increase the productivity. That should be the mindset of deploying robots, not eliminating the workers. But maybe some of the manufacturings have to eliminate, to reduce some of the overheads. Maybe the turnover is so high. So we have no choice by following the technologies, by deploying the autonomous robotics, AI, automation, those kind of things. I believe it's just a matter of we realize what are, the benefits and how we can maneuver, the affected people to become more value skill added to them, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Encik Hazeli. Maybe I will start asking one-to-one question to all the panels lah. So for the benefit of the audience here today, we start from the far and then go back to Dr. Yeong lah. So all of you get ready lah, my tembak punya question lah. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Hazeli, Move Robotics.
Yes.
If you look at our audience here today, there's a lot of companies here involved in warehousing and logistics and application for robots. Yeah. And you have Move Robotics. You are a company that is able to fabricate and customize special purpose AMR for customers, especially maybe for warehousing and logistics and all that. Yeah. So if I can ask a question on behalf of the audience here, how flexible is Move Robotics ready to go in customizing and redesigning your AMR for your end customer, especially for the warehousing industry? Because there's cost involved to it, there's a lot of risk involved to it. So, but how far are you prepared to consider the customer requirement based on the budget that they have and also the timeline that they have? Yeah, so maybe over
Alright.
to you.
Yeah, all right, Prof. Thank you. Thank you for the question. So, first of all, basically, Move Robotics, a local startup company focusing on R&D. We develop, we design, we produce, we fabricate the autonomous mobile robot for specific use. So this means we do a lot of customizations. So we do the mechanical design, electronic design, even the software programming, we do all in-house. But of course, as a startup, we doesn't have all the machines to fabricate, so we outsource to the vendors. For example, like laser cut, bending welding, those kind of things, we outsource. But all the design and the program are from Move Robotics. So talking about the market size in Malaysia, we got a lot of spectrums in terms of the clients. Some of the clients is suitable to use off-the-shelf products, like, for example, we have right now Geek Plus, High Robotics, and others type of robots that are already in the market. Some of the clients can deploy directly the robots. But there are also some spectrum of the clients that cannot deploy this kind of products. So they need a customization to suit with their environment. So basically that is the niche, that is what we are going for, Move Robotics going for. This is our niche, right? So how we tackle? So basically when we talk about customization, it take a lot of time, effort, even money to produce those kind of robots. So basically, we are so ready in terms of do customization because we have a past experience developing a robots for MNCs and big company. So what we do right now, we see the problem of how to go customization with a less, timeline, lead time, and also the less costing. So we are able to compete with other players, big giants, big brothers, right? So what we do is basically we try to reduce the customization level and come up with the modular, modular system, so that we minimize. For example, the clients want to reduce the height of the robots, want the bigger footprints of the robots, and wants to change the payloads, right? So that's easily we can do. We just change, the structures. We just change the size of the motors, DC motors. So for the sensors, for the controllers, for the computers, algorithm, it's all basically the same, right? So maybe the difference in software is basically we set up, based on what, the process, the inventory that, that the robots needs to be done. So basically, this is how we're going to that, customization. So we are so ready in terms of that. But our challenge is basically the lead time lah. It's very hard. Even though we already manage on the lead time of the customization of the mechanicals, but we cannot manage the lead time of the supply chains. For example, the components. So DC motors, batteries, sensors is all from overseas. So that's our big problem, our big challenge lah. So maybe after this, we can talk about how to make sure, we have a ready supply chains in Malaysia, which is not beneficial for Move Robotics also, but beneficial to all the industrial players. Right, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hazeli. Yeah. My next question is to someone from the government lah. Yeah? Government people, so we also have to ask questions because we pay tax ma. Yeah. Okay. If you look, this question is to Mr. Safwan from MARii, the Malaysian Automotive Robotics and IoT Institute, because the word robotics is there. My question to Mr. MARii is that how can MARii assist the automotive vendors? I'm assuming there are some automotive vendors here in this show. Yeah? If there's none, imagine that there's automotive vendors. How MARii can help them to modernize their warehousing facilities towards productivity and profitability. Yeah? And also how can SME contact MARii for this? I mean, maybe outside the automotive sector, for example. So these people are looking for what support they can get from MARii. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Before I answer the question, I'll try to give a little bit about MARii first. I think because this event is actually outside of the usual industry for MARii. So MARii is actually an agency for under the custodian of MITI. Basically brother and sister, kita sibling lah. MARii and MIDA under the same ministry lah. So principally we are engaged to promote or strengthening the ecosystem of the automotive industry. So when we talk about the local automotive vendors and also those are our stakeholders lah. So in MARii we have several programs. Part of our main activity is about strategic policy development. So that's one thing, and then training and also technology adoption program. So on the technology adoption program, for example, we have the integrating also with the supply chain is one assessment that we call Automotive Supplier Excellence Program. The assessment is for SCL certification. So why I talk about this? Just this year, the government has also approved for OEM, because OEM, when certain model they want to introduce into the market, they will try to get as much as facilitation from the government to apply, for example, tax incentive and so on, or other facilitation. And in the national automotive policy, we talk about customized incentive. But how do this policy try to translate to the stakeholders or the suppliers, the vendors in the ecosystem of automotive industry? So there is a certain criteria in this customized incentive CBA, the CBA, cost benefit analysis, that the OEM has to present to the committee. For example, how they utilize the suppliers in the Malaysian market. So if the supplier, so usually the OEM will say, who is the eligible supplier here? So we have this program that certified the automotive vendors on certain level. Then the OEM can utilize them and then get more incentive lah from the government on this program. The other part, we have also training, bridging training, like train and place to the automotive sector. And this is an industry certification program that we have also. This year we have about 3 sponsors lah for this program, that we train lepasan graduate, undergraduates, and also people also that are on the operation level, and then we place on the company of automotive vendors. So those examples of the program. And in terms of the supply chain, the warehouse, the in the automotive vendors. So this one in MARii, we have what we call as a MARii Industry Forward Technology Platform. In this program, it's about Industry 4.0 technology. It's about IIoT and also digitalization of the operation at production area, and also at the management, manufacturing operation management. So these are the program that we can offer to the automotive vendors. And one thing yang lastly I want to touch is about the Industry 4.0 readiness assessment, Industry Forward Readiness Assessment, because the policy and MITI give the name for the national Industry 4.0 policy, this Industry Forward. readiness assessment, and we are one of the certified assessment body lah for this program. And but the experience that we have actually more on the SME, and automotive vendor mostly are not SME lah, except for their supply chain also, maybe their vendors lah. But our experience in this program, we have about 100 plus SMEs companies since we have been appointed for this. And sadly to say, actually, even the government has provided this program as facilitation for the company SMEs. The take-up rate is actually not that good. And that's why I think in the National Industry Master Plan, government has talked about how to revamp the program. Okay, fine, that's one thing. But I do say that if the SME is not taking up the opportunity, then perhaps the government also will not be interested too much to give. And the revamp system may be not so much on the government side, but they want the industry to invest themselves. So that's why if the opportunity arises, I will say here, please take the opportunity. And then in agency, we can also try to help and promote them to the government also. Thank you.
Thank you, Encik Safwan. So I hope there you go. There are some support, opportunities there that we can tap upon. So my next question is to another colleague, also from our government agency, very famous, especially among the SMEs and also the multinational. This is to Puan Noorhazlina. My question is that, at least for MyRAS, we get a lot of perspective that people say it's very difficult to apply for government support or government grant because, there's many, but, if you talk to the wrong person, you will get the wrong answer lah. If you talk to the right person, you will get the right answer, right? Okay. So maybe I would like to touch how to handle people who talk to the wrong person and got the wrong answer lah. So basically, my question is, from your experience, what are the usual challenges when SME, when they try to apply for MIDA grants or support facilities lah? How can they overcome their challenges in being successful lah? If I want to say give some tips, nampak macam tak proper, kan? So basically, from your experience, what are usually the problems or the non-compliance or difficulty that when they approach MIDA, they approach it wrongly, or what's I can say advice lah that you can give? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, very good question. Okay, first of all, I think the awareness. I'm sure most of the companies now fully aware it's not an option already to venture into industry forward or automation technology. Is a must for companies to undertake this approach to improvise their productivity. So among the challenges we face, of course, we have been introducing many grants before since RMK 10, basically. 2012, we have introduced DSF, if you have heard, Domestic Investment Strategic Fund. And after that, we introduced SAG, Smart Automation Grant, during COVID. And then we also have just recently closed one incentive under Industry Forward together with MARii here, in the Industry Forward Intervention Fund. And now we already launched new grants, which I have presented just now, SAG Madani as well as Domestic Investment Accelerator Fund. So we have very good experience managing these funds. to encourage companies, SMEs especially, to apply and to utilize this grant. So we under this new fund, we have formulated it in very friendly manner, hopefully. And we have, of course, previous grants has many obstacles. Among the challenges that we face in terms of company to utilize the grant, even though it has been approved, but the company not able to utilize because of various issues, mainly of to get financial, because it's a matching basis, reimbursable basis that the company has to spend on their own first before they can claim the grant. So within specific time frame. And as well as to get solution providers or suppliers of the machines or the training activities to undertake the project. So these are all the obstacles that the companies face, but we do have specific program under MIDA as I have presented just now. We do have specific offices in our state offices in Penang. We have also MIDA Penang here together, and to facilitate companies to answer all the questions or obstacles, as well as under our domestic investment division, we provide programs, supply chain program, domestic investment coordination program to match company with the banks or financial institution, as well as solution providers. So hopefully with all these initiative and the guidelines, friendly guidelines and all the clear guidelines, hopefully company can apply and utilize this grant. Of course, MIDA always would like to collaborate closely with the company to ensure that the company can enjoy these benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem. So maybe no hint yet, eh? You have to see personally.
Always read carefully the guidelines. Yeah, it's all clearly stated, especially for the new grants. We have clearly stated what are the criteria to be complied, to utilize the grant, what are the documents to be submitted. So I hope it's clear. If there is any questions, please feel free to contact our MIDA officers in Penang or in headquarters as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I can assure you that the government is very supportive, in trying to provide, to help the industry to rebuild back again, especially after COVID and all that. Okay, my next question is to my friend also, Dr. Yeong. This is business to business lah. If you look at our community here today, a lot of people from private sector, right? So private sector, of course, we are only talking about how they make more money, make more profit and all that. At the same time, how to save cost and also to be faster, better, cheaper. Okay. Now, one of the questions when you want to purchase or buy a robot or consider bringing in robot, DF automation has been long in the market lah. Not only in Malaysia but overseas. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So my question, maybe on behalf of the audience here today, from the floor, one question is that this is business to business lah. Now, does DF automation provide simulation and pilot testing proof of concept or not? Because I'm an engineer, I also have my own company. Before we make the buying decision, you want to make sure that at least in simulation, it meets my requirement. Or maybe you can go a bit further. Can you do a proof of concept for us and all that? Okay. Now, all of this involve cost and time. Can this factor component be part of DF automation pre-sales? Or how do you handle this so that people are more confident about your ability and also your commitment to support our Malaysian customer?
Yeah, thanks, Doc. Like you say, it's a secret, right? Should I share? No, just kidding. I don't think it's really a secret, but it's a business nature. I think for DF, maybe I just quickly categorize our customer. We have customer with deep pocket. You know, they can spend whatever they spend. And we have a customer that very have a tight pocket. And, you know, this team that we are dealing with is a do and die. If they don't do well, you know, then they're going to be screwed by the bosses. So this is where maybe I share these two groups so that you can have a better understanding. And again, every cases are by negotiation. But maybe I just give a very high level one. Most of our product, we need to do demonstration. We need to do prototyping and simulation. Until our extent, depending on the project size and also the requirement and also the market opportunity. So if you were to target for customer that have a very tight pocket, timeline and so on, then we actually come up with a very lean way of proof of concept. Very simple simulation, we don't use software. We just use a PowerPoint. And we just take up all assisting video and also photo that we have, very similar one, and we put that. Then we do calculation by, you know, Excel, and it actually illustrate the numbers already. So I think that really gives them a very high level understanding how they can actually benefit from the robot themselves. So I think that's number one. And of course, video as our robot is robot, people want to see it move. And of course, video is the other way that I think is very important. Then we have to build more cases and that we send to customer. But we also have customers that actually want to see the robot on the site because they say that, hey, your robot run in Johor, okay, but KL, maybe they don't like the KL weather and the traffic. I mean, there are a lot of cases like that. So we will put our robot to test run on the site for the customer to see. So I think this is pretty much I would say, very tight budget, we do that. From the high budget one, they were asking a lot more. Instead of, because for the tight budget, normally we just provide the demo robot. We have actually 10 demo robots aside that ready to deploy everywhere in Malaysia, Singapore, everywhere. But of course, the robot that we demo are very fixed to certain application, to pull a trolley, to push up, or to track the pallet and so on and so forth. But the moment they say that, hey Yeong, I want to have a robot on top, then we've been working with a lot of robot maker, UR, KUKA, ABB, Fano, and so on, Syntec, and so on. Tiba-tiba, they say there's this new robot arm. Then it's a question of, do we want to spend time to put the robot onto the robot? So we have cases also to go to the customer side that they say that, hey, Yeong, your robot need to be in clean room environment. You need to be in stainless steel fully. We were like, okay, all our standards are steel. How to make it? So this is another cost. So I think the very important part is very open to the customer side, that if you were to do this, we are not able to do because this is our demo unit. If you do it, there will be cost involved. Then this customer normally willing to invest. So we invest to them, then they do. And we also have a customer actually in Europe. We do have a CE, and we just got to know that the CE is not a proper one, they was told me. They want us to use the high level one, which is about 100 times more expensive. And then we say, okay, no problem, we can comply because we already CE compliance. And actually CE is actually a self-compliant, and also we already have a third-party one. So it's a matter of different vendor. And to our surprise, not to our surprise, we are very happy that our customer willing to pay for the CE. And also this is still under the proof of concept. Why they're willing to do that? Because they also try with other robot already, and it just happened we have one model of the robot that could fulfill their problems. And they're looking into 50 to 100 units, so they need to make sure that this prototype is working. So to cut it short, like I said, if you are in run type project, PowerPoint slide, video, numbers are right, then I think should be fine. If you have a bigger budget, then they want to full illustration, then I think as a supplier, I think we can quote. Then of course, based on the discussion, how we can actually provide the full solution prototype to convince. Of course, the later stage now, we also have using simulation like visual component. For instance, they want to buy 50 robots. It's impossible for us to build prototype 50 robots altogether. So then we use a simulation to run it. We can calculate the cycle time, the cost involved, and everything. So that one can be done in simulation also. Yep.
So you see, very confident answer one. So meaning that I have confidence that he can deliver and he can do it lah. Maybe I open the floor for any of the audience here who wants to ask any questions, any burning questions. Is there a spare microphone to go around? Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you. And others also prepare your questions. give them a hard time because they came all the way from
We have two
KL.
government agency here. I have a tons of questions for them. We ask later in the VIP room.
So, Doctor, thank you for sharing and thanks for all the speakers for their thoughts. So, I would like to ask, in your own opinions, how do you see in the 5 years' time this market will evolve? And do us, Malaysia or Penang markets, is ready for this Industry 4.0? So, feel free to share your thought.
Yeah, very good question. Maybe to be fair, we ask one round, and whoever wants to answer. Yeah.
I'll do a quick one. I'm a lecturer for the last 20 years. I've been seeing the transformation of a technology. And I did my degree, I did my PhD in London in 2010. When I was in London, I bought my TV from online. When I was in London, I bought the flight so cheap and so on and so forth. When I came to Melbourne, I having a culture shock. Why I cannot buy a TV from online? Now that you basically buy everything online. So what I'm trying to say that I think we all do agree, Malaysia is a little bit lag behind from every other country. And I just came back from Hong Kong, and I also went to China a couple of times, and you can see how far are they. And if you look into 20 years ago, China is a bit back. I went to Shenzhen, I still remember, I went to Shanghai, you cannot see the cloud one. And then Shenzhen is like kampong. Now you went to Shenzhen, you shocked in your life. And when I was in Shenzhen, I met a friend told me, Yeong, you got a PhD from Imperial. The government give you 1 million, you just stay here, give you a property. I was like, wow. Okay, so what is going to happen to the next 4? Very simple to predict. Try to picture Shenzhen in Malaysia. Unfortunately, I have to say that. Or maybe London now. I think moving forward, Industry 4.0, I think we are beyond that already. People are talking about sustainability, like just now I talked about IR5. And Bursa also emphasized a lot on the ESG. So we don't do business for the sake of profit. We need to look back into the value and mankind. So that will be my answer for that.
Okay, from MIDA point of view, I'm glad to hear from Dr. Yeong that now our companies are in advanced stage in terms of Industry 4.0. But because of, since that MIDA has introduced various incentive and grants to encourage company to adopt this technology, I think it's still not, our companies are still not ready, especially from our specific intervention fund for industry forward incentive. Like MARii has said just now, from the readiness assessment program under MPC, about 1,000 over companies has done this program, but only a few hundreds, about 300 companies has enjoyed intervention fund, mainly because of the lack of fund. But what we want to see is the adoption of technology industry forward. Even though without the government facilitation, the company should enable to adopt this technology to enhance their productivity through their own initiative or through their own funding. And because of that, I think we learn from this industry forward, we should also encourage company not only on industry forward smart technology but also on automation, because we believe that automation is the must right now before the company can venture into the smart technology. That's why we reintroduced the smart automation grant to cover automation investment as well. So hopefully with industry 5.0, I hope in another 5 years, hopefully our company will be ready for that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, before I go for your question, I think I will share a little bit more because firstly, I do not worry for the people that are already in the hall, because they show, for example, they actively trying to find the solution and also actively promoting their own offering lah. Okay, so what we worry because we go about when we do the assessment, and because the government fund is for SME, then we happen to mainly engage with the SME. And yes, one of the thing that when Dr. punya question earlier, why SME ni macam mana MIDA nak pemudahkan the application lah. So even during those time when we do the assessment, many of the company also do not understand what is the program is about. Their mindset is about to do automation or increase capacity of their own process, but the program is about Industry 4.0, digitalization is the first must. So I think that's why the government learn from that. Maybe from the application they see a lot of actually company that apply for automation. Perhaps that's the lesson learned there. Then they try to adjust for this lah for the next one. So that lesson learned there to stay the automation here, facilitation for the automation. But I do want to suggest lah here, sorry, I do want to suggest that the automation also has to be enabled for the next Industry 4.0 or Industry 5, not just basic automation. So I think that is one of my suggestion for this SAG Madani. And then if the company, the industry, is it ready or not? Okay. Anecdote lah, not according to facts lah. I think one of the factor for our market is, or maybe for the previous or facilitation of the program Industry Forward, why is it challenging to fill the KPI that we have set, meaning government set for this program? It's because of the pandemic. So happened to be when the policy is launched and then pandemic happened and that's affected. And because the target market is for SME, the main worries problem for the SME after try to getting out from this pandemic time is about their cash flow. So they have to maintain their operation first before doing investing for the next or improving the process. So that's why I think why after we do the assessment and then the take-up rate for the application for the next technology adoption is very low. And here I think the support from government is continuing into this National Industrial Master Plan, and there's already set a very, actually quite high KPI, like 3,000 smart factories. So you see from the government side, they see the future, that we want to go to this journey. Now we want to, from the industry punya side lah. And again, I re-emphasize that I do not worry for those that already in the hall. They know they want to actively seeking and also actively offering. But those company yang from our experience that we go about, then they also do not understand the program too, and that's why perhaps they also do not know what kind of offering in the market. So how both sides, government and private sector, also can try to reach them and bring to this Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0. And then another anecdote, one of the key theme lah when we talk about adopting technology is about talent or existing talent pool in our market. Interestingly, when this year when I went to Singapore, one of the company that we met there actually saying that because there's a group of another companies yang inside their industry lah. So they said after the borders opening, they actually relocate to Malaysia because they said during the pandemic they don't have the workforce or talent that they want, and mainly their talent also coming from Malaysia. Okay, business side they can retain there at in Singapore, but to do the technology development, to do the actual hands-on on the technology or develop the solution, they relocate to Malaysia. So, okay, then meaning that we have the talent pool here. So we do not worry on that. And I think government side also supporting to various program how to increase those talent and aligning with what the industry want. So yes, about how many years? I think many market research also has done their job to analyze and give their prediction. If there is no more those pandemic era happen again, then yes, I think we are aligning with those prediction also. Okay, thank you.
Maybe Hazeli, you want to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a short feedback on those questions. All right. So I love to see the way like what are the next 5 years going to be, right? So how about we see what is the 5 years back? So what are the conditions, right? So how far we have become until now for the last 5 years, right? So we can straighten the lines, or maybe become a once projections, or maybe we can see there will be like exponentials, because of now in terms of automations. I think there's a lot of cheaper product right now. The costs become, I think, affordables rather than for the last 10 years, right? Even like LiDAR sensors now is even cheaper, right? So, and also in terms of, deployments, we talk about changings, right? I think most of the client that we meet is the changing is from the top down, whereby the leaders of the company see they need to change, right? But some also like SMEs, they doesn't have that awareness, right? So I think it's totally depend on how intervention of the government to accelerate our transformation of digitalization in IR 4.0 or IR 5.0. But at the same time, I'm looking at my responsibility in terms of my countries. So I try to help also in terms of, giving a trainings to upskill and reskill the students to be, ready to go to the industries. So we believe if we want to go to achieve the National Robotic Roadmap, which is 195, points. Right now we have 50 points. So we need a lot of talents, more talents, right? So when we talk about deployment of robots, lots of people risau. Who's going to do the maintenance? Who's going to take care of the robots, right? So when we have the talents, we have the full ecosystem, I think the development will be fastest. And I think the industry will go more and more adoption of the automation, AI, in the future for the next 5 years, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hazeli. Okay, that's a good question actually. Thank you. Maybe I open up for any other, another questions maybe from the floor. Maybe any from our ladies from the ground. Yeah. Any anyone who wants to ask, ladies maybe. Yeah. Or thank you for responding.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Basically, I would like to know the intervention of the government in terms of expediting the IR 4.0. How serious, basically, the government promoting this kind of technology, and also in terms of expediting IR 4.0 lah. Basically, maybe for SME, they're not quite exposed into this, and they need more and more intervention, and also in terms of awareness, and of course for SME, basically they have to balance in terms of investment and in terms of benefits they will get in terms of embark into this industry for. And also for automotive industry, I'm from automotive industry. Basically, how the link between the main automotive industry and also the vendors or suppliers in terms of this, how to say, to make this to promote this IR 4.0 more efficiently. So my main question basically how the intervention of the government and encourage from the government. Yeah, of course there is, like grants and so on. So maybe the SME also afraid to take the grants because they need to invest first, and how is the benefits they will get back later, something like that. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
You see, when I ask a lady, then they really come out a lot in their brain actually, So very good question. Thank you. I wish I wanted to ask that question, but come from the floor even better lah. So I think, of course, the spotlight will. I mean, we hope not spotlight lah. I mean, we're looking at least from MARii and also from MIDA. I know see you dah tenggo diorang dah. Huh? Okay, Yeong wants to volunteer start first and then bagi senang sikit kerja, Yeong. Kita satu team
Okay, I start first because I'm a recipient for the invention fund. And how did I know it? I didn't know it. No, I mean we have to share. What happened was I know some of our Syrian PMO. He used to be the project manager officer for some of my project funding from Mostin. Then he told me, hey Yeong, I got this IR 4.0 forward readiness assessment. Do you want to be part of the pilot study or not? They say, what's that? They say, it's to measure that how far are you from the, IR 4.0 lah. They said, of course I want lah. Then they came in. Then I thought it's one day deal lah, but it's not actually. They came in. I think it's a good exercise activity. They came in and asked me, top management, are you doing IR4 already? Of course, as a boss, say, yeah, I have this, I have that lah. Then you go ask the bottom, what is IR4? Huh? Apa tu IR4? But your boss say no. No, I don't. So I think this is the question they asked to see that whether your company, where are you? That's number one. They do interview, they look into your facility and so on. Then they came into a report, how far are we? They say, oh good, then we know the report. Then they say, hey Yeong, do you know that you can apply for this grant? Oh yeah, that you can install this technology. Oh yeah, then why don't we apply? Then we apply, then we got it. So I think that is the process that I have been through. Maybe along the way, I'm sure that they have some other success story also lah.
Yeah, it's good to maybe explain first about the readiness assessment program.
Okay. Right. The question for how, particularly for automotive sector lah, because Madam also from automotive. Okay. Let me touch on the industry forward readiness assessment first. So the assessment, like Dr. Yeong said, it's not about just the technology, because when we talk about industry forward, Raman thinking about technology only, but the shift factor is about people, process, technology. So we do all around punya assessment, and it's about assessment. Okay, ini another point lah, why SME also afraid just to apply for assessment. Why afraid about that? Because they think about this is an audit, and coming from government projects or government program, government want to know our business, financial, all this thing. But actually, our report also, we do not put as much as the field or information. It's just about how we assess according to the guideline, how we assess, and then we give some, or what we call band score. It's not pass or fail macam audit ataupun NG punya non-compliant punya dalam audit. No, kita bagi according to this guideline. Then we can say, because the assessment is meant for when we talk about industry, when we talk about technology level, then we can benchmark by doing this assessment. This company, different sector, how we want to draw the baseline. Okay, so yes, the punya application or products may be different, but using this assessment guideline, then we can say, okay, SME level in Malaysia is currently like this. And actively by participating, then government also can be advised about how to introduce new policy or, do planning for other facilitation. Okay, then a little bit orang kata criticism to the industry also lah. Industry forward readiness assessment and the complemented intervention fund grant is actually very unique. Of the intervention fund, actually very unique. I think MIDA should fight more to get this kind of fund again in the future. Why? Because it's the only fund that I know that give the successful applicant an advance to implement the project first. Kan? At MIDA actually usually matching grant and reimbursable basis. So there's no other yang I heard about this. Even okay, for specific sector, for example, if you have having client in rubber industry or rubber product punya manufacturing, there's another under Malaysia Rubber Council, I think, called Fund of Automation and Green Technology. So if you have some client in the rubber punya product, then you can ask them to try for that fund also. And those are also, I think, reimbursable basis by Milestone punya project. So in automotive, in MARii, we work banyak way lah. From the OEM, we try to get the OEM to apply, to use our local vendors. And what we go about in the policy punya strategy, for example, that I said just earlier lah, about the customized incentive. So previously, the customized incentive usually only translate into the OEM itself. And then how we want to help the supplier or the vendor ecosystem. Now, there is a certain criteria under this customized incentive. Okay, basic incentive, the OEM understand. But this year is the first punya application. Any new model yang OEM want to invest in Malaysia, the factory line or the model to being produced in Malaysia, they would want to get as much as possible from the government, the facilitation. Okay. Now, one of the criteria is about their industrial linkages punya program lah. How much vendors in Malaysia that they use, and also what kind of level of the vendor. They have to help the vendor also to move up the supply chain level. So we have a program in MARii called Automotive Supplier Excellence Program. That is an assessment plus the training. Another one, the assessment itself is SCL, for supply chain level readiness. So they have 5 levels, 1 to 5, 5 the highest one. And usually at the tier 1 vendor in Malaysia, supplying, for example, to Product Proton, at minimum level 3 they have. So to be qualified for a certain model, there's a minimum number of vendors, not numbers, percentage of vendors that they use for the parts component in the automotive. So that's why if they're utilizing higher level of vendors, then they get more. So maybe, hopefully, because it's newly introduced, we want the OEM also support their vendor ecosystem by doing training, uplifting their suppliers also, and also translating their saving from the tax incentive that they get from government towards their vendors' pricing less usually, because they want to get the best price from the vendors. But now, okay, help the vendors also. So that's one thing lah yang kita try to help the automotive industry here. Okay.
Okay, let me maybe answer in terms of grants. I think companies are also aware not only grants that the government provides to facilitate companies to adopt in this Industry 4.0 or automation, but we do also have tax incentive if a company not ready to enjoy grant. But grant is a very good initiative or package because we want to assist a company to kick off the project. As what Mr. Safwan said just now, intervention fund, this is a very special fund that we provide upfront upfront grant besides the matching basis. 70%, we provide also 30% of the upfront grant. Of course, the grants, the government provide this grant with specific outcome to be achieved, with specific time frame that for MIDA have to report to the government in order for us to justify how we can get more fund to SMEs. So that's why we impose certain criteria, certain output or outcome to be achieved by the companies in order to enjoy the grant. So the criteria or the qualifying criteria or the outcome or output are all tailor-made to ensure companies can benefit from this grant, especially like SDG Madani is in terms of to increase productivity and efficiency of the company. So based on the company's proposal, company apply the grant with the specific proposal or criteria to be achieved, and then when they apply for disbursement, they have to prove that they achieve the criteria in order for the government to justify that the company managed to utilize the grant and in successful manner. So this is why the government imposed criteria for companies to apply and also to enjoy the grant, because we have to answer to the government the outcome of this grant. So I hope the company can understand. Maybe a bit difficult to fulfill the criteria, but is for the benefit of the company. Yeah.
I want to add, I think ini bahaya sebab I terlupa my scope already. I'm an assessor for the Industry 4.0 readiness assessment. Okay, and currently, actually, the readiness assessment, government also give, and the WARTA still applicable, tax deductible on the expenses of the assessment. So actually, it's already helping the company manage perhaps expectation. Okay, we do this assessment basically, maybe not free lah, tapi still you can get something from not just the report, the learn lesson from the report that we share from the assessor punya perspective, but also helping also on the operation, because sometimes company why we do the assessment afterwards we don't get anything. You get the report and it's a lesson learned. I think Dr. Yeong also shared there's a extensive activity also. Maybe if other company that you can meet of the successful applicant before, they also share the same experience. And the opportunities is still there up until 2025 on the current WARTA, I think. So utilize that also, meaning there's still back punya discussion how we want to strengthening more on this industry forward readiness assessment. Perhaps in next year, if the discussion conclusion there materialize, then perhaps we can give more information on this lah. But there is also this discussion lah how to utilize them perhaps at the financial institution punya how to accept this report, and now still on the discussion punya side lah. Okay.
Right. So yeah, maybe in the industry perspective, like tak adalah dengan one side je kan. So from the industry perspective, I do believe our government is really serious in terms of assisting industries to deploy IR 4.0. So for me, example, we produce robotics, and most of our clients doesn't know that there are available grants and funds from the government to help them. So somehow I also assist them in terms of applying those grants, and in fact I do the assessment also, right? Sometimes I compare my assessment with government appointed assessors. So there are also a cases that whereby I go to the to the factories and I see the assessment is not based on what I imagined. For example, the company should be improved in terms of their packagings, right? So improve on the automation of the packagings. But the assessor said they have to apply autonomous mobile robot. I said, why they need to apply autonomous mobile robot? They doesn't need the robots basically. because to transfer the item from one location to another location is just very near. So it doesn't make sense to deploy a robots. But they need to do is basically to improve their packaging because all the packaging is done manually. So maybe on the government side can improve in terms of the assessors, right? So that's my point of view, right? Thanks.
Thank you. So I think we're at the end of the session. I think it's been very lively and very, I can see the panel very, very energetic. Also, we got good feedback from the ground, yeah. So I think just one last question. Just want to ask you, in one word, Malaysia, we are supposed to be the #1 in ASEAN for robotics and AI. In let's say in 5 years' time, are we moving fast enough, slow enough, or so-so? You pick only these three: fast enough, slow, or so-so. Which one do you select? Dr. Yeong first.
Wow, very political answer. Slow.
Yeah, slow. Sorry.
I do think we are at a moderate pace.
All right. So my answer is a bit complicated, right? Because we're talking about robots.
Fast, fast, slow, or so-so. Itu je.
I think in terms of my point of view is moderate.
So-so.
Moderate. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all the ending for the thing, and I hope we have a good response, and thank you very much for your audience. Yeah.